Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of the Dissectors podcast. And today with me, I've got. Let me look at the server. I've got friend Xander, Nathan, Seth, and Bilo here tonight.
Hey.
Hello.
And tonight we're going to be discussing Tattletail, the recent popular indie horror game. And yeah, we're gonna go over like the basic core game, then we're gonna go have a little fan content break, and then we're going to talk about the Kaleidoscope DLC, which came out very recently. And yeah. So guys, just real quick, what were like your first impressions of the game, or like how did you find out about it first?
My first thought is, why do Furbies have a video game?
Yeah. I actually thought that.
How did you find out about it in the first place?
This was just seeing art of it on Facebook or something. I thought it was something from Gmod or something, like some Furby model just thrown into Gmod. Before I knew anything about it, honestly.
I found out through I believe it was just Xander that told me. He was like, "Hey, you heard of this horror game? It's pretty shitty." And I was like, I didn't know, but
it might have been the Skype.
Okay,
group.
no.
For me, I can't really remember. Like, I think
that's where I found
it was
out.
either Mr. Craven or it was the Skype group. I can't really remember.
This game specifically was a very this was a very word of mouth type of thing. Like, it was just sort of passed around. I just found out about it from, I believe, Stove told me.
Oh.
And I found
Rest
out
his soul.
because I found out because like I saw like a few gameplay channels playing it, so I just decided what all the hype was about.
Yeah, I think I saw Markiplier. That's when I like put 2 and 2 together, and I was like, "Oh, it's not a Furby. It's whatever this is."
well, it's a Furby.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always interesting because like being subscribed to Mr. Craven and all about what he's about. Like there's always a little period between like I don't know if it's just another really shitty indie horror game that's never gonna go anywhere, or like it's the next big thing. And then I think it was pretty much I knew about this game from him, and then like obviously when the fan art started rolling in from everywhere, I was like, okay, this is another FNAF deal, isn't it? Or Bendy or Undertale or whatever.
yeah.
I certainly didn't know how big this game was until recently. And now I'm really about to hear like about like fan content and like all this other stuff. Like this game's huge.
Yep.
It's just Furby.
And I guess that can move into like the visuals of the game. Something very funny that just I found really humorous, and I pointed this out multiple times to like the other people in the group who watch again Mr. Craven, bringing him up again. At least Xander and I are big fans of him. And something I immediately noticed about this game when I started watching footage of it is this game shares the same map, like the same house map from another like really bad indie horror game called Share. That was like that's
Really?
one of my like if you look at Mr. Craven Share, it's like it's the same house, albeit it looks a lot prettier. But
Oh wow.
yeah, it was kind of funny because that game is like so bad, and it was just funny to see like this big name horror game have the same house.
Yeah.
So that was pretty humorous.
Huh.
And as far as the design of the Tattletail go, it's interesting. Like I always appreciate like a horror game that can come out and have like original looking models at least, and it's not just stock assets, and it's competently made. As far as I don't know about the creepiness of, and we'll get to Mama Tattletail more in depth later, but that I guess she's an interesting looking. Like, especially to
creature.
Yeah, especially considering you're playing as like a vulnerable kid and whatnot.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
It scared me. The game scared me. It got me a couple times.
Yeah, it's weird. I actually found the game more scary when they did not show off like sharp teeth and red eyes. I found it more scary when it was just simple looking. Like it was just actually like it could be just some simple little toy. But yeah, the visuals look great though. That's actually what really interests me in the game, is that it looked extremely polished from the trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
The jumps, I don't know what it was. The jump scare got me the first time, but then after that, I don't know they just didn't pull it off right for me.
Something that
After that,
occurred
it was
to
just kind of
me-
like, what?
Something that occurred to me that I guess I can finally formulate into words because I couldn't really figure out how to like say this, but now I do. That's the problem with this game as far as like we'll talk more about mechanics later, but I guess this kind of works to talk about now. The fact that there is one scare throughout this whole game, and it's just the typical Mama Tattletail jump scare. That's all that's your only threat the entire game of being scared of. And once it happens once, you've pretty much seen the scares of the entire game. And it's like, oh,
Right.
Yeah,
it wears off really fast.
it reminded me a lot of Five Nights 3, when they just had like that one spring trap animation and it got so old it just became annoying rather than scary.
At least the thing with Five Nights at Freddy's 3 though is you at least had the Phantom like puppet.
That's true. That's true.
That provided extra scares. Maybe it wouldn't kill you, but at least there was something to kind of want to avoid. With this, it's just like you're kind of avoiding one scare.
Yeah.
the
Okay.
entire
I can
game,
understand.
And it's like that's it.
What I will
pretty
say
much
though, in terms of scares, I think what Tattletail does a lot better than most horror games I've seen, especially in the indie category, is really good build up for scares that might not even happen. But for example, like the washing machine, when there's a Tattletail in the washing machine, that was intense.
Absolutely.
That was really intense.
Yeah.
I like that stuff a lot.
I thought the part with like the vase was going because I think that actually now thinking about it, that's the only other scare I think in the game is when like you randomly are told like go play with the vase and then it shatters. That's kind of like okay, that was different at least, but it didn't really lead up to anything. It was just like it was good build up. It was just kind of like the payoff for that build up was just kind of lacking in my opinion. And then, as far as the other mechanics go, so throughout the game, pretty much, all you're really doing is, and I'll put up on the screen now, is these are the meters you have to keep track of when you're holding, like, the little blue Tattletail, which is kind of like your companion throughout the whole game. And I guess my complaint with the mechanics was just, like, the whole game just felt like a long fetch quest. Like, you were just kind of doing, like, the battery feed and groom thing. And that's pretty much the entire game. And then every night, like, you're basically just grabbing other stuff, and that's it.
Yeah. This is pretty much like one of the big complaints I have with like a lot of horror games. It's just pretty much almost all of them like offer the same thing that other games do. Like try to avoid this and try to collect this many things and all that.
Right.
And there's always like a jump scare that's like popping out at you.
It's the type of game. It's a great game, and it's great to play the first time. But going back and playing it as like just a regular game that I play, I wouldn't.
There just isn't.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, you like know what to expect like the second time.
Like replay value is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Replay value is 0.
You know what's gonna happen, so why play it again?
Exactly.
Like the only way it could work is like you playing it again, but showing it to a friend.
Or unless you go back and play and try to get all the eggs. We're going to talk about that though, right?
Yeah. The eggs we'll get into later, and I guess like. There were little moments like the vase, or like when you have to first go see the Mama Tattletail and get the tape. That was a little bit, like, it paid off a little bit, but other than that, like, pretty much I don't remember anything else about the game that really stuck out other than just, like, the ending, which we'll get to later. And, otherwise it was just running around, pick this up, make sure Tattletail stops screaming by doing one of these 3 things, putting it on the battery, feeding it, and grooming it. And that was it. And, occasionally looking for eggs. And, I don't know if anyone has anything else to say on the mechanics of it.
Well, I did have something to say about the eggs specifically, but I don't know. Like, it does have something to do. It had to do with build
It's
up.
not a big deal. I guess you can talk about
something that I feel like was. There's one moment. It's when you actually first meet Mama Tattletail. You know how when there's like a lineup of eggs, just so you have to kind of go and pick them up, and then you see Mama Tattletail. What I noticed was they started to get kind of worse as you started picking them up. You started seeing weirder things. Like it got to the point where they were like clipped fingernails and stuff like that. I was expecting that to build up to something really shocking, like say maybe like blood or something really gross that shouldn't be in one of those eggs. Like it just kept building up, but then it just said like cupcake. It's like, okay, it's kind of a waste of a good build up.
Cupcakes are pretty freaking scary though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know if it was intentional, but it felt like a cop out. I don't know.
I'm guessing it was intentional.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, from the way you're describing it, I don't really remember that personally, but from what you're describing, that might have been intentional. Just as like, oh, building up, ha, JK. Or, yeah.
I don't know. It was an interesting thing, though. I just want to bring it up.
I guess we should put on record now, like while we're on air, like who specifically has played the game. I was going to, but like the way I was gonna, I don't know, for some reason, like what I was trying to do to get the game was not working properly, so I couldn't. But yeah, who here has actually played the game?
Me.
I've only seen gameplay online.
Yeah, I've only seen it as well.
Playing,
You guys are missing out. It's definitely a game worth playing.
Well, you see, that's also
Well,
the thing,
actually,
like,
if you
I've
watch the
seen-
gameplay, you kind of ruined it.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've seen a full like Let's Play, so I don't know if buying and playing it now would be a very
that's not
ideal
worth
thing to do. But
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's kind of a problem for a game if you can watch it and then like not be
And then it's
interested
just
at
like,
all, and because I kind of felt like at least with Slender, like you could kind of watch that, but then still be like, oh, I want to see if I could take that on myself. With Tattletail, I didn't
well,
get
yeah,
that
because
feeling.
it's different. It's different every time. You have open world to walk around. In this, it's just kind of like you have set things
Actually,
you need to do with the same
leads-
places you need to go and get them. And
it's very much on a track.
actually leads to my biggest problem. If I was going to compare this to, like, I know a lot of people compare it to Five Nights, but something that Slender and Five Nights at Freddy's have over Tattletail is you already know every single thing that's going to happen if you already seen it once. Because at least with Five Nights and Slender, every time you play, it's going to be a bit different. Things are going to be changed.
Right.
There's going to be different movements. Things will happen differently. It adds to the challenge. With Tattletail, you can just know everything, and there's no challenge.
the rendering of like where things are in those games, I think, like, you know, are random and they're different every time you play it, because that's like the way they program the game, I think.
Right.
Yeah. And with, like, I don't know, there's a little bit of element of that during, like, the few parts where, like, Mama Tattletail will, like, be summoned or whatever, and you have to evade her for a couple minutes, but then she just kind of she kind of just goes away, and then you're back to doing whatever you were doing.
Well, and another thing is, I don't know if we're trying to compare a different type of game to Tattletail, but
well,
so
I
don't know if it's unfair.
It's fair to compare, but
I mean, yeah, it's I'd say it's like, obviously they're not all the same. It's just when you're talking about how a game gives a certain feel, you know. I don't know if that makes sense, but
it does.
I guess talking on Scares itself, like, what do you guys think? I'll transition here. What do you guys think about the Mama character in general as like your antagonist, or like how effective that is as like a scare?
Very creepy. I don't like. I found Tattletail itself a bit more discomforting than Mama, actually, in terms of voices.
Actually, yeah.
I found Tattletail way more upsetting because, like, Tattletail is the character that's going to set off something. It's always going to be Tattletail's fault, not Mama's, because Tattletail is like constantly screams and the volume just gets really loud, really just sets you off. Yeah, Mama
if you
Tattletail.
if you don't groom him or charge him, he's gonna start freaking out, and then Mama comes after you. So is it Mama you're worried about, or is it Tattletail that you should be worried about more?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't really share that opinion. I didn't really find Tattletail itself to be, like, I don't know. I guess there was an element of, like, when I was first watching playthroughs of it, like, I kind of assumed just from the beginning that something was up with Tattletail, like the Tattletail itself, and it was gonna somehow betray you. And obviously, you know, that didn't really happen. It was just, you know, whatever, and Mama was your only enemy. But I don't know, I don't really agree as far as creepiness of Tattletail once you know that, like, oh, I guess it's not like traitors or whatever.
Well, actually, I think, though, one of the scariest parts of the game, in my opinion at least, is I don't remember what it. No, it's when you bring Tattletail to the garage for the first time, and then it suddenly starts talking, and because you're in the garage, it blasts that voice. It threw me off so bad. I don't know if you guys remember that part. Like you're in the garage, like the sound is very ambient, and it just explodes with this huge volume of sound.
I kind of do.
Yeah, that was horrible. That really set me off.
I think it's probably from like the echo of the garage that made it so loud. It might be that.
Yeah.
Very effective.
That was
this type of scare like Mama Tattletail, and I don't know, this isn't solely like talking about Mama, but I guess another problem I kind of had with this game was the fact that like I think the setting was a little bit wrong to like provide the full like effect of being creeped out, because like it's the fact that like you're just in your house and you know, it's implied that your parents are like, you know, obviously you never see the parents or whatever, but like you're still in your house, and two, from what I remember, the house is like in a neighborhood too, isn't it? Like you're in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah, you could like if you really think about it, it's like if you can go outside and you're being chased by a deadly toy that's trying to kill you, you could just run across the street and hide in somewhere else.
And yeah,
I actually didn't. You know what? I didn't pay attention to the location. It is in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, when you walk outside, like the fence is closed off. You can't actually go anywhere. But yeah, like I think you can see like the neighboring houses and shit, and like you can see the street. And yeah, you're just in a neighborhood. So like, logically, like I don't know. It's just it kind of takes away the fear a little bit, because it's like, well, logically, if I was in this situation, you know, that wouldn't be
right.
You know, I would have options. So yeah, I think it kind of did this antagonist a little bit of injustice, or like the game concept in general, a little bit of injustice.
Yeah.
What I think maybe would have worked a little bit better, and you know, this isn't like the perfect scenario, but I think what would have worked personally better a little bit for me is if like you like went to a like the story is set up like you go to a toy store to pick up a Tattletail that like you weren't allowed to like get during the daytime or something. And I don't know, I haven't hammered out the story elements of this perfectly, but like, and then like you somehow get locked into the toy store after hours, and you're alone in the middle of like, and the toy store can be out in the country or whatever, so there's no viable, like you can't get out and get help anywhere. And then like as you're going through like the back room or whatever where all the toys are, and you're walking down the aisles and it's really dark and this thing's like following you around, that would be that, I don't know, I think that might work a little bit better, because not only that, but I feel like a toy store would provide a lot more like location and variety of where you were, because again, another problem with Tattletail is like there's basically two areas. You've got upstairs living room area, and you've got the basement, and that's it. You're going to be walking there over and over and over again throughout the whole game.
Spoiler.
That actually makes me wonder, like, I don't know. Oh, I mean, we're going to talk about the ending later. Never mind. I was going to say something about the ending. Yeah, but I agree.
And again, we kind of brushed on this when we were talking about the fact that the game pretty much has like one jump scare and that's it. Like, I guess the demonic whatever like form of her, like I guess it's kind of creepy, but again, like
I found the original design actually more threatening, because honestly the new one, it just I personally thought it was trying too hard with it. I thought it was really silly.
Ooh, harsh.
I don't know. I think just adding fangs and red eyes to something that's like a creepypasta trope. Like red realistic eyes makes it spooky. It's like,
You go in Photoshop and add fangs and red eyes to anything, I guarantee it'll be scary.
I don't know.
Plus, I don't really know how this thing kills you. Like, it just kind of, it gets up in your face and then bows down. It's like, oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah, true. That's never really explained.
I don't understand what exactly the threat is.
Do you even die?
Yeah, they don't explain that. Does it just knock you out?
So, yeah.
I was gonna say, does it just
at
like
least,
fly and give you a concussion?
Again, to compare it, you know, again to Five Nights, whatever. At least in Five Nights, there was a very present, like, this is, like, the phone guy explains, like, this is why you should be afraid of these things, and this is exactly what's going to happen if they get you. With Mama Tattletail, we don't get any explanation. We don't really get any, like, oh, this is why she does that, or this is what happens. It's just like, oh, you're going to get killed. Or
It has
maybe even not that. Like, we don't know.
it just goes up in your face and reverses time and makes you play the game again. That's all it's doing.
There's
It
like
reverses time.
on like the VHS, it says she was banned for a reason, but they don't explain what it was actually.
Oh yeah, I guess would be a good time to ask, like, to people who remember better, like, what were the VHS tapes about, or what was the tape about anyway?
It was literally, from what I remember, it was just like, it was weird. It was showing commercials for Tattletail, and then it kind of gets interrupted if you put in the right Oh, that was something that really bugged me.
That freaked me out.
No. Something that really bugged me though about the mechanics. Why was there an option to go to different cameras? Like, that really just
Yeah, that was really weird.
Oh yeah, on a VHS tape. Yeah.
Like
That
how
didn't
you were
make
supposed to do
sense.
that.
Yeah, the Let's Players I know did bring that up. They were just sort of like, how is this possible? It was just really confusing. But other than that, from what I remember that was on it, and between the commercial, it shows like things that weren't edited in, like a guy,
Yeah, someone's leg.
like a
in the
Tattletail
background.
standing in front of like a bleeding guy getting dragged away or something. Like, how, I don't know. It was really weird.
So it's just kind of like, oh, okay,
And it was
I
just
get
like,
it. Well, no, maybe the argument could be made that, like, your character's sitting there watching the tape, but like, when you're changing the cameras, that's supposed to be just like whoever edited it, like,
maybe
edited it
Yeah,
in the way
that's
that whoever
true,
you're
yeah.
controlling it. I don't know. Yeah, you understand.
By
what
that,
I'm
if that's
trying
the
to say.
case.
I guess it would
But
make
it's
sense.
a little weird. It's a little weird.
And then yeah, as far as the story goes, I guess yeah, we kind of went over that with the VHS tapes.
I will say though, I did really enjoy like the excuse of like why there's different days for this, like that every night you're just going to play with your toy while your mom's asleep. I thought that was kind of cute. It was a nice little addition, because usually it was just like at least with like say actually no, that's something I had over Five Nights at Freddy's. The fact that at least with every different day it changes what happens. Like something's always gonna, instead of just getting a little bit harder, it actually changes certain settings and stuff and what's going on. It is kind of cool.
I guess I do. I guess at a base value, I can appreciate that at least. That yeah, it is kind of like a glorified long fetch quest, but at least like you're not technically doing the same thing every night, other than like keeping up with Tattletail's needs. But
the thing that changes for Five Nights at Freddy's is, at least in the first one, it's like it will just add a couple more glitch effects and you'll get another piece of dialogue from the phone guy. That's really all you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. And then yeah, we brought up earlier like the Easter eggs. Yeah, we could talk more on that later. Whoever had stuff to say on that, but I thought I didn't really understand it. Like, I didn't really understand what the eggs had to do with the Tattletails, or like what, or why they were a certain. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like,
There's no indication that they came with the toy, so it's kind of a little. And this takes place on Christmas.
I don't know. I guess like it's like, I guess Mama Tattletail put them wherever, or
maybe.
I guess what I didn't understand was like, did Furbies have anything to do with like eggs or
No.
something? Like, I
Not
don't really
that I
understand.
think so, no.
If I remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the correlation then. Like, why? Like, I understand it's obviously a Furby like inspired thing, but I didn't really understand the eggs.
They honestly should have been those ornaments that you can open up. That would have actually made more
They're
sense. Like ornaments
Easter
with little
eggs.
on them.
Did anyone else just have Easter?
Little inside joke. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't
really have
know.
much to
Like,
say
I
else
guess is like a little sidetrack thing. It was interesting, but yeah, I don't know. Like you said, like they don't really build up. Again, they don't really build up in anything. It's just kind of like you can find different eggs at random, and either they'll have something slightly weird in them, or they won't.
Yeah.
I feel like if it built up to more disturbing things over the story, that would have been kind of cool. But you know,
Just sort of a letdown in the end.
Yeah, and I don't know well, I don't know if I would complain about this as far as like being hard to find or whatever. It didn't seem like, at least when I watched my playthroughs, like they were pretty easy to find, all of them. Or my guy might have just been lucky, but.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, of course we should talk about the ending. Of course, I know a lot of people had a lot to say on this, so I'll give the floor to you guys to talk about that for a bit, and then I'll just kind of, form my thoughts off of what you say.
Well, first of all, pentagram, really? Like, that is the most like, that's the thing. It had such good build up, and they wasted it on the most cliche horror trope you could ever have.
Yeah.
Like you're thinking like throughout this, like, why is Mama like this? Why is like Tattletail like this? And then it's like in all the end, it's like she's a demon.
See,
No more mama.
Yeah, like, why do the Tattletails want to get rid of her? Like, are they?
This is not very
If
nice.
she's a demon, what are they? Are like, I don't.
Spawn's a Satan.
I guess, but like, what? I don't know. Like, maybe if they implied with the ending that the Tattletail like had bigger plans for like the child or something, then it would have made a little bit more sense. Like, it wouldn't have been any less cliche. But yeah, it just seems like the Tattletail's the good guy in the end. It's just like, why? Like,
and here's the thing about like killer toys that are like possessed and whatever. There has to be like a source for it. Like, there should at least be like maybe a backstory to like, because if there is maybe like, I don't know, the Tattletails were maybe children, or the Mama Tattletail was like maybe a parent that murdered a child or something, and the Tattletails are like the children's souls. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Hinting to that, it's just okay. They exist and they're, I guess, demons. It's like, cool. Anything else to add to that? No.
And it's something it's like I mentioned before. Like they say Mama was banned for like this specific reason, but they never even say what it is. So we're just left in the dark for that.
Like that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with leaving things sort of ambiguous. Like, we kind of talked about that in Southbound. But it's like, you gotta have at least something.
I don't think this was as bad as Southbound as far as that problem goes, but yeah, well, no, that does beg the question, and if they explain this in the story again, I don't really remember. But like, okay, so if Mama Tattletail is banned, how did either, like, is it supposed to be implied that like the parents got the Tattletails for the kid, and then like Mama followed the Tattletails to his house?
Yeah,
or
I believe that's what it is. Yeah.
Did the parents get the Mama Tattletail too, or like what the
No,
deal?
no, you don't buy that one.
How did it wrap itself into packaging?
What do you mean? I don't think the Mama Tattletail was ever in packaging, was it?
The packaging, because it's sitting there and it's Mama. Wait a minute, was it?
No,
just
no, Mama never was.
All I remember was you go like by like the back room to get the tape, and then she's just kind of sitting there.
Going back home theories, right then, I guess. Because okay.
Okay, well, I guess I don't know. I guess that's what we're supposed to infer then.
Or
Which
I
is
don't
a
know,
little
maybe
creepy. I guess
it could have been hinted. I don't know. Maybe that maybe they already had the Mama Tattletail beforehand.
I don't know.
I mean, if they
I don't know about that one, but
got it before it was banned, could have been.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
If they provided more of a story as to like, I don't know, maybe if they explained a little bit more, we could infer that. But as it stands, I don't really buy that one.
All right. Yeah, the ending was just so cop out. Like, it's just like,
how do you think they could have done it better? Like, what maybe would have been a better like twist if you have one?
well, like, one reason why I'm so angry about the ending is because it's basically the exact same thing that happened with Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, I'm not gonna tell any like developer like how they should do it, but in my opinion, a better way to have done it, if I was in control for Five Nights at Freddy's, I would have just simply made it like they tried to make something a bit more intelligent. They tried to make, intelligent robots, and they simply just went against the humans. That's such a grand idea, and to put that into a horror game is very original. Like, I don't think a horror game has really done that before. Like, that would be something really original. So just going straight to the supernatural theory it's like it feels so worn out. It's like it's not scary anymore. And the fact that you had a perfect setup with robots of all things, it's like
well,
it's such a waste.
well, games have definitely done the robot angle before, but I do agree, like it, as far as I do agree that maybe it would have been less of a tired thing if like they went that route, because we haven't seen that recently. Because I do remember way back then when Five Nights first came out, I do remember you telling me that that was your theory on what was going on and would make it creepy, was if all the animatronics, like this game was kind of like the introduction to when we learned it was going to be a series, that it was going to be like lead up to more of like a widespread robotic like takeover or something, and that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I was hoping like if there was gonna be like more of them, like that one of them would end up being in like a shelter, and like you'd find out throw like a twist that there'd be like tons of these animatronics like building themselves. They learned how to build themselves. They're just all around the city. I thought that would have been such a genius, like cool, like sci-fi horror kind of thing. But no, it's just they're children in demon form. It's like, okay.
I think maybe like if it had to be supernatural, what I would have maybe done is like I would have made it a little bit longer and had more like going to different places. Like no, I'll tell you what maybe would have been a little bit more creepy is like eventually if like after you get rid of Mama, like that would only be 3/4 through the game, and then like no, I think I would have made the game like after Christmas, like after you get the Tattletails, and then like the nights following would be just kind of like the aftermath of after you get these toys. And then like what could have been done is like I don't know, maybe you have like a sibling figure, and like as after you get rid of like Mama Tattletail or something, you learn that like the Tattletails have kind of lured the sibling away from the house or something and out in the middle of the forest or something. And like there's a whole sequence of you have to like go through the like you have to leave the house in the neighborhood, and now you're isolated and you have to like go like to a more isolated area and try to like find your sibling while the Tattletails are like alone with you in that. I don't know.
That would have been really creepy. It's funny, when I was actually like playing the game and I was getting up before the pentagram thing hit, I know it's a really weird theory, but one of my original theories for how I was going to end was like they were actually going to go for like a comedic ending, because there's some comedic little elements to the horror game. It's not all just scary. Like there are some things they throw in that's kind of funny. But like I thought the build-up was just gonna lead to one of the most like silliest endings, where it's just Mama Tattletail is not real. It's just how you imagine like your mom waking up and trying to find you while you're doing like Mama Tattletail literally just represents your own mother trying to hunt you down while you're trying to like get out of bed. I thought that would have been really funny, but nope, just
Yeah, is there a deeper meaning to this game? Because it would make it significantly better.
Not that I have read up on. Like, I don't know,
Probably.
maybe sometime in the future somebody's like, oh, dude, I just pieced together how it all makes sense, and it'll make more sense, but as
Like
of
mine.
now...
Game theory.
Yeah, maybe Game Theory will have something on this, or...
Maybe.
Nightmare.
Yeah, they'll say-
I seriously...
But I want to hear from the creator of the game. Be like, yeah, this is your mom in your dreams or something. I don't know.
Well, I feel like that'd be kind of a cop-out if the creator had to come out and be like, okay, since nobody got it, this is what it is.
Well, true.
They're basically demons.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, I didn't really get the significance of like destroying the tape, what that had to do with like how, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Maybe.
oh yeah, they don't explain the bad ending either. It's like you get rid of Mama and then it's just kind of like, oh, never mind. Like she's back for whatever reason.
I think
Like, the good ending, I
significant-
guess, makes sense if not being anticlimactic, but I don't know.
of the tape, because the tape is what turns on Mama Tattletail. Without the tape, she doesn't really do anything. So if you destroy it, she has no chance of being alive again. The tape is what sets her off.
Mm.
But yeah,
I guess, yeah. And I don't know, yeah, I do agree the ending was pretty, like, just, I don't know, I didn't
but
really get it.
we didn't really say about the whole ending though. We just kind of talked about the pentagram. I mean, there is the aftermath when you
Collect all the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
what it leads to one of the best build-ups I've ever seen in a horror game is when, because like when you go up to the present and it's bright as day, you know, it's completely bright, and your mom's still asleep, and you go over to that present and you're ready to open it, you're just expecting a jump scare, so you're opening it and they make it so slow, like you're just slowly unwrapping it, slowly, and then there's nothing in it. Like, that's genius. I don't know. I really like that.
Okay, I guess I can kind of get on that, but I guess what I was mainly thinking as far as the ending was like the dumb pentagram destroying the tape thing. I guess I did kind of like the part where like she takes the candles mid like seance or whatever, and then you have to go hunting in the dark for them. But again, like it's pretty much just the same jump scare again that you have to avoid, and then you know it gives a tiny bit of variation, but then you realize it's pretty much just the same thing again.
Like, it really my problem with the ending is not the execution. It's, well, okay, it kind of is, but I mean, it's like, it's not the gameplay problem. It's like, it's not the fact that like the ending didn't play well, the sound design wasn't good or something like that. It was just simply the fact that he had to do a supernatural twist is what really kind of bugged me. Like, everything else I'm okay with. I was just, when I came back after having collect those 3 things, like, because, you know, they make you do it for so long, you have to keep going back and forth with the same. It's just tiring, so like tedious. You finally get it done, you're expecting a really good twist, and they just throw a pentagram at you. It's like, that's just really obnoxious.
Yeah, Xander, you remember, because when I played this game, I played it on Skype. I actually almost recorded it and put it up on one of my channels, but Xander, you know, I was like, oh, I gotta get up and do this again and do that. And I was like, I was getting so annoyed. And then the ending, I was just like, really? I did all that for this?
For players.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So just like I guess now before we transition to the next like kind of section we have, what did you guys like? Base game alone, we'll talk about Collide, or below at least. We'll discuss Collide.
No, like we there was one extra part about the ending that we left out.
What was it?
Oh, the next warning, right?
It's if you get all of the eggs. If you go into the room, you hear you hear Tattletail say hi mama, and then the mom, you just hear the normal mom voice say hello there. Like, I was really confused by that part. That threw me off really bad.
That is deep.
That is a little confusing, yeah.
That made me at first that made me think the child is like dead already, like mom already got her or something. Well, and we didn't see that part. But Tattletail was the one walking around, going into Mama's room, which I guess she's about to kill like the actual mom.
I don't know, like, or no, that's another way. Like, maybe like this could have been a little bit of a different kind of twist. Like, if the Tattletails somehow like it builds this up subtly throughout the game, so it doesn't become it's not like super obvious and apparent. But like at the end, it's kind of like seeing that like you somehow become hypnotized by the Tattletail, like building off the idea I had earlier. Like the whole build up of the end is like going out to the isolated area to save your sibling, and then like somehow like you end up grabbing one of the Tattletails and it looks like you're about to save your sibling, but then like it becomes apparent you were just there to be their puppet or something. I don't know.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, that actually just made me realize what I wanted after I played the game, like what I really wanted the game to do. What I think, if they just added a little bit onto it. So, okay, so they should have made it where there wasn't more than one ending. There should have been one final ending, and it should have been simply for example, it's like you think you beat Mama, you think she's finally gone, and you go to sleep. Up and you realize you're now playing as the mother. You're taller and you're playing as the mother, not the child. And maybe they could have kind of went back to what happened before with like the washing machine and the eggs scattered around. You open the eggs and suddenly you start seeing things like severed finger or something really bad, severed eyeball. Then you go over to the washing machine and you find out the child is in there. That would have been so shocking. I would have really liked that. Because it doesn't really go that far. It just sort of, like, that's another problem with the game. It doesn't really go...
Right.
It stays kind of childish. Like, it doesn't really do anything with this whole creepy story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that ending would have really given it that really good dark edge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's missing like that. It's missing that scare that like that will stick with you.
Yeah, you want it to be memorable.
Exactly.
And the thing with the hypnosis thing is like that would kind of leave an open-ended like thing. Like maybe you could leave hints throughout the story that it could either be a like supernatural thing or it could be like nefarious means by which the manufacturer is doing it to the kid. Like you don't know.
Yeah.
And that would leave it a little bit like ambiguous. Whereas
I don't know
this is just blatant like they're satanic, I guess, and they float tapes and they build fires and whatever.
Yeah. I guess it could just be the fact that maybe just the creator just I don't know, like maybe he just wasn't that great of a writer or something. But again, if there is something to the game that I just don't know, fair enough. But yeah, from the way you're describing, yeah, it just feels like it's really missing a lot.
Yeah.
Just feels like it could have been like finished more.
So like overall, like beyond the ending, I guess we'll go down the line and like discuss our thoughts just as a whole about it.
Effective. It's an effective horror game.
Yeah.
Like it does what it needs to do, but it was just lacking stuff. Anyone else?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess is a short because it's pretty short as far as games go. I guess like as a simple idea, I guess it kind of works, but it's just like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like maybe if the producer of Tattletail like worked on another game and that was more fleshed out and had more to it, other than just simply like fetch quest stuff, then I think maybe and get like writers and maybe a more original concept that would work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I guess as it was okay. I guess it was kind of a new thing to bring to the table as far as like as far as like obviously the original creations of the Tattletail themselves. It's kind of like I appreciate that. But,
Right.
yeah, like if as long as you did more with it, it would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, anyone else? Well, Nathan, as the person here who's actually played the game, what did you like think of it while you were playing it?
Why was I playing it?
No, while you were playing it, like yeah,
Oh.
like while you were playing it, like what did you think as like you were throughout the process?
Throughout the game, I was like, this is. It don't get me wrong. It was creepy. It creeped me out. Gave me chills. I jumped a couple times, but I was like, okay, this is kind of like a basic indie horror game, and I was waiting for like a good build up, a good ending, and then they just, like Xander said, it was just like a cop out, stereotypical pentagram fucking shit. I was like, oh, should have been something surprising, something unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because really, just the ending, like if they had just pulled that off better, the game would be significantly better than it was.
Yeah.
I
think for me, sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead. You...
I was gonna say, I think for me, it like the concept's cool, like you said, the ideas are neat, but I don't know, it's a game that it leaves me wanting like more from it. Like,
Yeah.
most definitely.
This is a game I would definitely be okay with sequel.
Yeah.
Oh,
More
yeah,
fleshed
yeah,
out
like-
and everything.
Yeah, like this kind of opens up the thing of like maybe exploring more of the Tattletails themselves, or like why things are the
Exactly,
way
because
they are, or
that obviously like wasn't the only one sold or anything. You could go many different ways with it from here.
Yeah,
maybe-
like maybe we
maybe-
could learn from
well, no, never mind. I was about to say like maybe a twist that would be at least make it kind of new or interesting would be like and then I didn't take into consideration the fact that they actually float the tape up and it's very clearly supernatural. I was gonna say like maybe the twist could be that comes apparent with like the sequel or whatever is that they are actually not supernatural and they are AI, but they like learned that behavior somehow,
Oh, maybe.
or they developed.
That'd be
that.
interesting.
But yeah,
You know what? Something I will say though, now that you actually all mention it, like something about the whole pentagram thing that I'm just realizing now, and the whole floating tape.
Yeah.
Now, if you were a person who, like, if you were like
Not a person.
an 8-year-old looking at this supernatural things, would you just sort of stand there and cooperate, or would you run away?
No way. I'd be gone.
That makes the whole playing as a child thing kind of
Alright.
unrealistic. 'cause
After the first night, I would throw all that crap away. I'd be like, why did my parents get me this crappy Christmas gift?
Yeah, because like you never really get the hint that the person you're playing as is really scared by it. You just sort of walk around. That kind of I don't know.
You don't even know you're a person. You could be like a...
Yeah, they didn't really give you a significant, like, they didn't give the person you're playing as emotions. Maybe it would be actually kind of scarier if you heard what the character you're playing as was thinking or something, like what they were doing.
You
like
knew more about your own
Hmm?
character. If you knew more about your own character.
For more, it's like for all you know, it's like a 60-year-old man that just wants a Christmas toy for some reason. He's just like,
Here's
It
a
could be
thought.
some teenager on drugs or something, and it's not even real.
It's a pretty short teenager.
He's having like nostalgia back to when he got Furbies.
my grandma's like 3 feet tall. It's like, you know.
Here's a thought.
All right.
What if the Tattletails are like aliens or something?
And that's entirely possible.
Maybe.
Like, and again, like I was kind of going off earlier, and they learned that behavior off of like weird influences that they didn't understand. They just thought was proper, and they're not actually satanic. But like, yeah, like the Tattletails are like little alien eggs or some sort of like.
I'd
young
like
life
that,
form.
honestly.
And then
I'd
like
be completely
the
fine
mama
with that.
Tattletail was like their escort or something, and
Mother
Oh,
shit.
I don't know.
And a great meta twist could be like the reason for the pentagram is like they were watching tons of horror films by Hollywood, and they're just like, this is what humans find scary. We're gonna
It could be like
pentagrams and floating
Yeah.
tapes.
Or yeah, you find out the company has like I don't know, some sort of deal with like the overlords of this weird race, and then I don't know. Yeah, that would be the reason they would be selling off like the young aliens into into like young homes or
to
something. for
infiltrate.
Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that
It
would have been a
could
little bit more
be.
interesting if you found that out, or if this becomes a series, something to build on.
Yeah,
I'd be fine.
I
with
guess
that.
what we're saying here is there's a lot of ways this game could have been much better, and it just wasn't.
or at least more interesting. Just in
They also
general.
didn't know how big this game was gonna get. I feel like if they're like, this game's gonna blow up, they would have put a lot more into it.
Yeah.
That's possible.
I will say though, the trailer for the game was extremely competent. It's one of the best horror game trailers I've ever seen. Honestly, it's really effective.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what? That's right. Before I played the game, Xander had me watch the trailer, and I was like, "This actually looks really good."
Yeah.
I did enjoy like the commercial mode where they were like trying to give off the 90s aspect. I feel they pulled that off really well.
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
give
yeah,
the
yeah.
game that.
Yeah, better than FNAF, honestly. When FNAF's trying to pull off 80s vibes, like it didn't
Yeah.
really work. But
They
this,
didn't have an 80s man.
Yeah. By the way, I hope that music bot works for this episode. That's something new we wanted to try, or at least Xander introduced to the Discord. Now that we're using Discord, we wanted to try that out, and I hope it doesn't. If it's distracting, let us know in the comments if you don't want it. But I kind of like it. It fills it fills the like couple seconds of dead air that happens occasionally.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It sets a mood. It sets a mood.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I guess who hasn't spoken yet as far as like what they thought of the game? Bilo, what did you
Bilo.
think
Yeah.
overall about
Bilo.
the game?
While I was watching it, compared to like a lot of other horror video games I've seen or played, I've definitely seen better. This game has like a lot of like the tropes that you actually seen before in others, but it can give you that like creepy aspect of it. But there's like you guys said, like there's like um a lot of elements that could really be like been more interesting. So yeah, I wasn't really that into it. Overall, I think it's average at least.
Yeah.
Again,
that's-
and
Very
of
much.
course, this leads into our finally next segment after we get done talking about the first game. Is again, it's interesting. Like the game itself isn't really, I wouldn't call a masterpiece at all. It's just the fact of like fans will latch on to things. Like I can't really. Well, no, there's a formula to it because plenty of like new things will come out and it will just kind of get
Right.
dropped and won't get paid attention to.
It's
Just certain
Yeah.
stuff like this will like.
It's
yeah.
I think it has to do with nostalgia value rather than just the game itself. I think it's the fact that they take something, you know, kind of charming from your youth and they make it scary. That's what really latches, like, let's say kids onto it probably, or old, like young teenagers. Just
I
like
guess
they
it's
latch
the
onto
same-
it.
I guess it's the same for a bendy kind of thing. It might have reminded them of old cartoons they used to watch or something along those lines.
It's I wouldn't say it's pandering, but people
No.
will latch on to things very quickly
Yeah,
when it's
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Even
A certain type of music, you know, people will just latch onto. Cause maybe it's like maybe nostalgia value, like they'll play retro sounds. That's why a lot of people love DA Games' Bendy song. It had that style, and people latched onto it. People really like that stuff. So Tattletail's probably
Right.
just like that.
I guess, but like I don't know. There are a lot of games that also don't really invoke nostalgia. That like for some reason like I don't know what kind of
Like
community I would call it.
Undertale, or
Like yeah, Undertale too, but
Well,
I guess the style of the game is kind of like.
it's very reminiscent of Earthbound, to be fair.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
yeah. I guess I never played Earthbound, so
Slender, like for
Yeah, that
example,
makes sense.
I wouldn't really say Slender Man has, like, for example, has the type of fan base that this
No.
has, because there's always gonna be stuff like that for like all types of different media, but for these they get it like the worst.
right.
Or like
I
say
guess maybe it has something to do with a character that you can like cutify, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
Or-
yeah,
No, I
for
got it. Like kind of series that have characters that like you can make. I don't know. This you can make OCs out of is really easy to latch on to. 'Cause, yeah, I've seen. As far as like fan content goes, like yeah, they talk about their OCs, and it's like, it's kind of like making an OC of like a Yoshi race. Like, yeah, sure, you can make it a different color, but like that's pretty much the point of that race.
And
Like,
you
just
know,
because you make a pink Tattletail, it's like this probably pink Tattletails. It's not really an OC.
You know, hear me out here too. These games all have characters that you don't really know a whole bunch about to begin with.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's like if you think about like the FNAF anima,
fan fiction.
and same with this, same with whatever else there was recently. But yeah, it's like, I guess Bendy too, because in the first chapter it doesn't really give much away. But yet
Yeah.
people all latch onto it. And that's what seems to spawn all of the fan content.
That's why I personally think as Bendy's lore gets more and more like in tune, I think people will start, like, these fans will probably start kind of latching a little away from it. They won't really want to be a part of it as much, while like the true fans will just keep playing it.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I'm not gonna say that, you know, people that, you know, make drawings or whatever aren't true fans, but you know what I mean.
No.
But it's like, I can see this kind of fading away through time pretty fast unless they make a sequel.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, another example where the SCPs, they
Right.
don't really have this kind of fan base. I wouldn't say anything from SCP really has a fan base, but that's really just because they're already described perfectly.
Mhm.
I think Seth kind of
Right,
nailed it on
right.
that there's like nothing with these other characters you can really up your own stuff.
You know, I don't know. I just find that when indie serious, like, I don't know, just it obviously doesn't work for every game either. But there are certain ones where, like, these characters you don't know much about suddenly become these huge things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So yeah, overall, an interesting, quick game, but And I don't know, I can definitely see the producers definitely, like, now that they've gotten this big boost, it's like kind of what Scott Cawthon did with Five Nights. He didn't really know or expect that that was going to blow up, and then he's like, well, now I'm motivated to make more and flesh this out more. So maybe the creator of Tattletail will kind of ride on that coattail and do something similar. And if they can flesh it out and make it more interesting and more original, then that's good. But as this stands, it just kind of serves the purpose of being a quick, like, it's a quick indie horror game that's at least, you know, it has original assets, I can say. It isn't just, like, you know, usual crap like Share or Retaliation or shit like that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. Anyone else have any thoughts before we move on?
I'm pretty much done with that.
No, that's good.
All right. So yeah, we'll take a break before we discuss Kaleidoscope, and we're gonna go over fan content, because that's always fun. We had a lot of fun with that with Isla's Jack.
Yeah.
So we figured given and Wattpad is finally up again.
Woo!
So we can.
Thank
I've got a
God.
story from Wattpad, a story from Quotev, and a story from fanfic.net that we're gonna go over.
Wonderful.
And yeah, the first one we're gonna look at is called Tattletail: The Story Untold by Love Dove Anna 101. Let me just say, I think I know why this site went down. I really hate like the look of this site.
Yeah.
I hate how to move around it.
Hold on, let me take a look at this. Let me take a look at this.
Yeah, by the way, Multi told us like earlier that this is Wattpad Gold, so I'm kind of interested in what this was going to be.
Yeah,
This
this
is
one
pathetic.
is. This one is.
It's
funny.
not terrible. It's not terrible. It looks
Ugh. Wattpad, more like Shatpad.
All right, so I guess I will be the narrator for this one.
all right.
And luckily, I don't think any of these are obscenely long, so we'll get through them relatively quickly.
Just like the game itself, it's very short.
It seems like a short while ago when I got my toy on Christmas and my life changed forever. December 20th, 2006, midnight. I couldn't sleep. I can't sleep. Who knows what my parents have hidden down in my basement. They always spoil me, you know. I got a golden watch last year. I know, I'll see for myself. I get up off the bed and sneak downstairs, then to my basement. There are two ways in, a door inside and one outside. I take the inside. I creep down and notice a flashlight on the shelf. On the shelf, I take it. There's no, like, comma or anything. It's just...
Good, so if I take it.
Then I wander around until I see a brightly colored box. The ribbon is blue and the paper white with gold spots. A step up from last year. Okay. I open the box very carefully and see an odd toy inside. On the box of the toy it reads, Talking Tattletail from Waygetter. Never heard of this thing before. Really. Maybe it's an exotic toy Mom and Dad have bought me. I open the box for Tattletail so carefully. I pull out the toy and start speaking in a loud voice. It kept saying stuff that was really odd. Okay, why don't you put down what it said? Like, I'm not really getting anything from, like, if I didn't
Vague.
if I didn't know what Tattletail was, like, you wouldn't be describing it very well to me.
It
This
says
isn't even a story. This is just like statements about Tattletail.
it said
This actually has less. This has less info on the fucking story than the actual story.
it was like it's saying weird stuff, and all you can like
It's like,
you
what
can,
is
all,
it?
all
What
we
is
can
a
know is like I
Tattletail?
hate Jews.
They share real weird things.
It wanted
says,
food,
"We
so I
hate
took it to the
Jews."
fridge and fed a carrot.
What?
Then it wanted to be brushed. Then I was sick off it and put the toy back. I creep upstairs only to hear a phone go off. Do I answer it? No. Never answer things unless Mom or Dad tells me to. Okay, what was the point of that? Other than, obviously, that was a thing that happened in the game, but, you know, again, you're not...
Yeah.
Whatever. I go to my room and fall asleep, not knowing what horrors await me.
What?
This
Okay. Okay.
There's the next part.
Oh, I thought it.
Yeah, there's the part
No,
two.
Yeah,
it-
part two, the
it
second
keeps
day.
going.
I don't think...
The
let me look how many... Okay, well, it goes on for a little bit, but whatever. Yeah, like, another thing I hate about Wattpad, you have to, like...
Let's take
on-
turns reading parts.
Okay.
All right.
Nathan, you want to take this
I can
part?
do this.
Or Seth?
Oh, Nathan, go ahead.
No,
Either
Seth,
way.
go ahead. You
All
volunteered.
right, here we go.
Go!
Present day. I was always a brat, you see. My parents spoiled me. What made me go down to the basement a second night was a rattling. Rattle, shake, shake, rattle, shake, shake. I wanted the noise to stop. It was so annoying. I decided to creep downstairs once again. I went straight to the basement this time. I explored the whole thing until I got to the washing machine. The dreaded thing was so loud, it also shook.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, but
This pretty much
why it would be
explains the
loud.
whole
It
thing
would
in
be
It sounds like a
shaking.
washing machine. Though now it was shaking more violently, this worried me. I opened the door and found my purple tattletale all wet, though it still worked. It wanted me to brush it, so I did. Then feed it, so I did. I then placed it down and it started to say something. It wanted me to get a VHS tape from the basement and play it for him. Her?
Can I
I don't know.
wait?
What?
Can I intervene for a second?
Sex.
What's up?
Sure.
Okay, the story untold, bitch. This is the story.
Yeah, I was gonna say this exact game.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
did bug me because I was trying to find stories that didn't have to involve like the actual story, and from the like, because I didn't want to spoil myself. From what I read of what they said, here's the, and I guess I should have read this before. Tattletail the Story Untold. In Michigan, a young girl gets a new toy, though it's not what it seems. What is it, and who is Mama? Help Lisa Monroe discover the mystery behind this discontinued toy. I thought there was gonna be something else, but it's just the story. It's just the game.
Yeah.
All right.
Continue.
I went down and found it next to another toy. It looked odd and old. When I took the VHS, it spoke. It said a really creepy story about the Tattletales.
But what is the
Apparently,
story?
its name was Mama.
God, fucking.
Yeah, they're skipping every detail except they're just saying, "Oh, it says stuff." Oh,
The story sort of untold.
yeah.
Yeah, story
Yeah, the
untold because
story
they're
is
too
untold
lazy to
'cause
tell
there's
it.
nothing going on.
They're
This
not
whole
telling-
thing, this
gives
whole
us
thing
this-
is fucking untold.
It gives as much as expedition as the original game.
No,
Exactly.
he already made that joke. You ruined it.
I ignored her and
Oh.
went back upstairs and showed the video. It was of an old commercial for the
To who?
toy, and it said, "This Mama Tattletale unavailable." Then my
you
Tattletale
you
wanted to
watched
see
the
Mama.
video. You didn't show it to anybody else.
Yeah.
that's
Oh
like
no.
the video.
It showed it to the little purple Tattletale.
I don't know.
Then my Tattletale wanted to see Mama, so I took it to the spot where she was. Though when we got there, period, she wasn't.
She was
The
she
lights.
wasn't there.
Turned off. I guess.
When
What you got there?
she just simply wasn't.
Non-existent. The lights turned off, and all I could see was glowing red eyes.
Oh my god.
All right, Nathan, take the
Wow.
second day, part 2.
I'm
Part 2.
spooked.
Present. We have grown. As people, as friends. My best friend was a toy. That's pretty sad. Was yours? Past. I'm scared now. I grabbed the nearest thing. It was my flashlight. I shook it and I got a little bit of light. That's a shitty flashlight. I didn't know what to do. My mom and dad locked the door at night and I can't run to my room for it has no lock. I slowly panicked.
Knock on the door.
Then I
I'll
thought,
open the other one.
if I put away Tattletail, the monster will go away. That's not how it works. So I did, and as I went upstairs, I saw the mess my toy had made. Toys don't make messes.
Wait, hang on. No, not that. But like you put Tattletail away, but then like you go upstairs like, oh, my toy made this mess, but you just put it away. I don't. Whatever.
I'm telling you, it's a kid on drugs. I started to clean, then turned back to see that the monster wasn't there. After that, I ran to bed and was frightened for
Also-
the next day.
What kid's logic at this age is like, yeah, if I put this back, everything will be fine. There's nothing there at all staring at me.
Whatever.
By the way, you were cleaning the mess as she was chasing you.
Yeah.
Like she's like,
Yeah,
oh,
and then-
I gotta run away from this shit. Oh wait, there's a shit stain on my
Oh
carpet.
man, who left this mess?
Hold on, I have an account on Wattpad.
Why?
Why?
I don't know. I'm just logged in. I don't remember making it.
All right.
How long have you been
wanna
logged in?
You want to take this part?
All
I think you're the only one who hasn't read. I could be wrong.
No,
I
I
didn't.
haven't.
I'll be.
And below, yeah.
Present. Oh my, what are these? My old photos. Oh, how lovely. I look back on these and think to myself how lucky I am.
Huh?
Past. I remember last night. It was crazy.
I don't really understand that
Dude,
format.
I didn't know what to
No.
It's
I
like
didn't know
bullet
what to
points in a
expect here.
PowerPoint. It's not a story. It's like.
Oh, I heard a sound in my closet. I opened to find my toy inside. Period. It wanted to play with its friend. Period. Stop putting period. The friend I saw this morning in the basement. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Why would you? Okay, yeah, hold on. Period. The friend I saw. What?
Yeah, this whole thing is a grammatic mess.
Yeah, just.
I walk down and find the yellow toy. It wants to play hide and seek. Okay.
Great.
I get my flashlight ready, the one that doesn't work, and wait for it to hide. The first time it hid was. The first time it hid was fine, though. The second the power went out. What?
The
I had to
second
watch
time.
out for.
This,
No, like
she's just speed running the story. There's nothing new here. She's like, okay, remember when this happened in the game? Okay, that happened, and then this.
Oh.
I looked the second time and groaned when it wanted to play a final round. Ugh, this is just me playing the game. Like I don't. Yeah, like I was just rolling my eyes. Like why do I have to do this again? Like you're just. What? I was then being stalked by red eyes. Ooh. I then found the toy and it wanted food.
So, it's terrified these eyes and it finds fetus instead.
This
Wow.
perfectly
Okay.
actually shows like just how like my
Logic
point about the
anus.
child you're playing as clearly doesn't care about all this stuff. It's like I was then being stalked by red eyes. Then I found the toy and it wanted food
Okay.
and wrapped up the two. The phone rang. I reached out to the pulled away. I reached out to it, the pulled away, as I heard a weird grinding sound. I then ran as fast as I could to bed and fell asleep. It's good? On the contrary, no. I was a sneaky little girl, just like you, and loved adventure, though it got me in trouble.
What?
Just to let you know, I'm coming out with a DC book named Strike of Death. It focuses on my fan character, Striker. Who is
Yeah, I was
you'll
gonna-
have to find out. Shout out to Zombie Queen.
Fuck it.
This is all
Wattpad
just-
plug.
No, she's just saying what happens in the game just to promote her other original stuff.
I was gonna say I'm sorry, but if she can't write an original story, Tattletail, I don't know.
All right, Kilo, you want to take this very short chapter? The future
Yeah.
is unlike the past.
Okay.
Sounds like an X-Men title.
Why do I act this way? I don't know. Maybe childhood, maybe now. Though I know what the true reason is. My best friend. No, not a human. A toy. My
Well,
best
there's no
friend.
comma there. It's just
Yeah.
no, not a human, a toy.
No, not. My best friend. Oh, how I miss her. Even though we don't know who the fuck she is. What was
Oh,
my
yeah.
best friend? What was my best friend? Why a baby talking Tattletail.
Aren't they all babies?
Why those were so rare back when I was a child?
Oh.
Why am I so sure? Well, it's start. What?
Oh my god.
Oh,
This gives me
okay.
a
What the
headache.
fuck? Oh my, is that the phone? Wait here, dear. What the
Dude,
fuck is the story?
Lamishi Mish, who wrote Origin of Eyeless Jack, is like Shakespeare or Stephen King next to Love Donna Anna 101. Jesus Christ.
Fred Boat, you want to finish this?
Fred.
I'll take this. Hey y'all, thanks for 50 reads. It means a lot to me that 50 people decided to read my work. Oh no.
Oh, that's
I
why the
hope-
chapter is called for the read celebration.
I hope that I will continue to make you want to read. Present. Grandma, a little girl in pigtails asks. Yes, dearie, an old lady replies. What is your favorite childhood memory? Why, it was... Oh my, it seems that the clock is beeping. Stay here. What?
I don't remember this in the game.
Wait, I got
Clock is beeping. Oh, no.
My
yeah,
clock,
yes.
my grandfather clock is beeping. I'm going
How many-
senile.
I just realized I'm looking at the hashtags for the story. Spoopy. Spoopy.
Fan fiction,
Disgusting.
horror,
Let's
spoopy,
continue.
tattletale. Anyway, yeah.
Spoopy.
Past. 2 days before Christmas, I was woken up by my tattletale that I have named Lulu. Me see friends, Lulu speaks. I pick her and my flashlight up and we wander the house. I hear an odd grinding noise, but keep going. I go to the basement, though before I even step foot on the steps. Give me a treat. I sighed. The stupid toy should learn manners.
What? It's a toy.
What a loser. Also, she spoke of this toy like it was her best friend. I'm not really seeing that from this. She just seems annoyed by it every time she has to be around it.
And I know her from 2 days.
Shut up, my best friend.
We live in a mansion, not a pigsty. What?
From what I remember, it was not a mansion. Like, my house is bigger than
It
that.
was a shitty map from a horror game.
I then walk down the steps and see a blue tattletale sitting on a chair next to a table and 3 more chairs. I place Lulu on the charging station. She says, "More friends." I wander the rest of my house searching for another one of Lulu's friends. And each time I find one, the grinding gets closer. I finally found all 5 of the tattletales, including my Lulu. You didn't find Lulu.
How do you know there are
It
only
was-
5?
I don't know. Then they all chant, "Break it, break it." They seem to be looking at my very expensive vase. With a sigh, I did as I was told. Why? Like, I understand this is more of a criticism of the game, too, but, like, why?
Okay.
The
What
vase
did you
shattered
say?
and a loud screech pierced the room. I saw the red eyes. The toy was brown and was clearly matted and broken. The eyes looked to me and the toy lunged for my face, though I was quick to dodge and ran up the steps.
What?
Once I got to my bedroom, I shut the door and breathed a sigh of relief. I got into bed and feared for my life. Well, that
I
was my
did some
50 read special. Hope you enjoyed. Oops, Mama's mad at me. Hold on. Yelling at Mama,
Oh my God.
You stupid toy, shut up. No, I will not give you a speaking role. Like, spelled
my
like
God.
the food roll. Don't you try and use your puppy dog eyes on me.
No.
Hey, stay back. I will hit you and murder you before the story's end. Turns to face audience. Just don't trust scary things. Okay, I think I'm actually done with this story now. I think we're gonna move on.
Yeah,
I've
this
lost
is,
my patience. Okay, so
More-
this one is actually original instead of just a
Wait.
play-by-play by this. Oh my god,
Aw.
Love Dove, try harder. That sucked. Tattletail and the Chocolate Factory.
Wait,
Why?
there was only one more page.
I don't care.
Nah, it's
Tattletail
not
and the
worth
Chocolate
it.
Factory. Prologue. And then this one, I guess I'll give speaking roles to different people, but I'll narrate.
Okay.
In a small house in Oregon lived a young lady named Victoria Lancaster, pronounced Lancaster. She had black hair that she kept in 2 small ponytails. She had dark, small, violent eyes and pale cheekbones. She wore a dark purple dress with white polka dots and lace ends. This little girl wasn't special, but she was lucky. Damn, jeez. Victoria had good parents that had good jobs, and she had a good home and a lovable puppy golden retriever named Roxanne. As life may be sweet, Victoria didn't have any friends since she suffered from lack of confidence and always stayed behind when it came to school. And a lot of commas, it, you know what you use
Please.
them for, please use them.
This is a run-on. Come on.
And a lot of kids made fun of her because of it. You put one there? Anyway, because of it. Even though she had no friends, she had one friend.
What?
Even though she had no friends, she
Wait,
had
what?
one friend.
One.
That is not how that works.
I have no friends, but I do have one though.
Hold on. You know what? That sounds like something I would tweet. I'm gonna tweet that right now.
Yeah, I have no friends, but I have a couple.
friends.
No, you have no friend. That one friend.
Anyway, her
Even though
friend
I have
was a
no
small.
friend, I have online friends.
Her friend was a small egg-shaped toy with purple hair and really loved to eat and never grew tired of talking. This was Tattletail. Victoria and Tattletail were true friends and never left either behind. Nope. The girl remembered the good memories of getting rid of Mama and unwrapping her friend on that Christmas morning. Tattletail may not have arms, but he was the one who helped Victoria with her confidence troubles. What did not having arms have to do with helping confidence troubles? Anyway.
That's a good question, honestly.
It's just something you mentioned, like, she didn't have arms. But, you know, she did help me with confidence, so she didn't need them. Whatever. Vic, dear... Oh, I'm sorry. Bilo, you should be the mother.
Vic, dear.
Started her mother.
Started.
Start.
That's what it says,
Who
yeah.
wants to play Victoria?
I will.
Okay.
Yes, baby.
Asked the little girl who was turned to turn 12 in 1 month since it's January.
Since you've been a good girl, I'll allow you to have one of your birthday gifts extra early.
She smiled, removing some loose strands of black hair out of her face.
Really? I'd be delighted. I can share with Tattle.
Victoria grinned.
Here you go, dear. Don't get too greedy, okay?
Her mother asked after handing over the chocolate bar. That's lame.
What?
Yeah, it's a cried back.
Okay, cried back the 11-year-old. Victoria
Cried.
entered her giant room and sat on her large bed. Tattletail was playing with a mirror.
Huh?
He stopped as he felt another presence in the room. He looked at Victoria with his giant blue eyes.
The mirror doesn't have arms.
Xander.
Oh.
Hey,
wait, where? Oh.
That's
hey,
it.
buddy, look what I got.
The girl smiled, holding up a chocolate bar that said Wonka in big letters across the wrapping paper.
Want some?
She asked. Tattletail nodded and sat on his tiny little butt. Oh, God. Don't. As Victoria unwrapped the... Just say sat down. Like, it's so creepy. As Victoria unwrapped the bar and the brown, milky treat was revealed, but what shocked the girl was on top was a ticket. Not just any ticket, a golden ticket.
By the way, how is he able to nod?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it didn't have a neck, like, at least with Mama Tattletail, like, it was a detachable,
She can
like, turning
turn
thing.
side
Like,
to
the
side.
Tattletails are just like a single thing.
Mommy, Daddy, I found a golden ticket.
Victoria screamed in joy. Her parents ran into the room and gasped at the sight of the ticket. As father made the announcement, some pressmen and women came to see the news. Victoria stood in front of her parents and Tattletail by her legs.
Victoria, could you show us the ticket?
Someone cried. Victoria held up the ticket. Her shyness got the better of the small girl, and her mother tried to help her, but she struggled. With what? Holding up the ticket? Tattletail.
Yes.
I have weak arms.
Tattletail then hopped into her other arm and hugged her. Wait a minute.
He doesn't have arms.
It doesn't have arms.
Wait. Does this not shock the press people that this toy just like hopped up into this thing?
Apparently.
Whatever.
What?
Whatever.
Thank you.
She whispered.
Victoria.
Cried a woman with more flashing cameras.
Hello, as you already know, my name is Victoria, and I'm proud of finding the golden ticket. It was my early birthday present as I have a Tattletail here.
Smiled Victoria. This is so like secondhand embarrassing. Like this is just like she's talking like about she's a 12-year-old girl and she's like, oh, I'm obsessed with Tattletail.
Wait,
It's our generation if they found a ticket.
Well, ladies and
Generation
gentlemen,
under us.
I had heard of
it.
it.
It kind of sound like Alan Tutorial a bit there at some point.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I had heard of the competition and thought of what would be a good gift for my daughter's 12th birthday on the February 1st. Then visiting
On the February 1st.
This person talks like Anthony Perry. 12th birthday on the February 1st when then visiting a factory of a genius. So I called my wife and friends and we didn't the search until we found the very bar of chocolate with the golden ticket and we used a metal detector
That's cheating.
and we struck gold, literally and no pun intended. Mr. Lancaster smiled as he placed an arm around his wife.
So these people cheated to get a ticket.
Yeah, this it's not even original. This is what like the rich girl Veruca
Yeah.
Salt did in that movie.
Oh, no wonder they're like Victoria Veruca. It works.
After several questions were answered, the press left and Victoria was left alone with Tattletail as they both shared the brown treat of the Wonka bar. As Victoria's birthday grew nearer, more and more people found other golden tickets. Veruca, Violent, and Laughing Night. Victoria disliked how each other child was, and she couldn't even wonder about the last ticket without thinking about going into another brat. One day is the big day One day, as the big day and her birthday was tomorrow, Victoria was having a tea
What?
party with the other Tattletails.
One day as the big day and her birthday was
So what's the
tomorrow.
big day? So
What does
The
that
big
even
day,
mean?
So
I
what's the
assume
big
that I
day?
assume that's when she goes to the factory.
Okay.
One
Victoria.
day as the big day?
Whatever.
I don't understand that.
One day, comma, is how it would properly be done, as the big day
One
her birthday
day.
was tomorrow.
Oh, okay, I get it now.
Victoria was having a tea party with the other Tattletails from the ritual on Christmas Eve, and Mama, who didn't stay banished. Victoria wondered why. Wait!
Well, so these still exist.
Why is Mama
So they're
just
just
hanging
friends now?
around? Whatever.
I guess they're all just like, oh, sorry, I'm your
Jeez.
scare you to death.
Mama's gonna be. No, I'm gonna spoil it. I haven't even looked forward. I'm just gonna guess Mama's gonna be responsible for all the kids totally dying in the
Okay.
factory.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Xander.
Oh, whoops.
Xander, I'm gonna give your role to someone else. You keep, like, forgetting.
Watch out, kid, Miss Mama.
The little girl.
I don't know
laughed.
which one.
Mama shook her head and watched her sons and maybe daughters. Victoria ate one of the cookies, but had splitted it in half and gave the other half to Tattletail Blue.
Tomorrow I'll be 12 years old. I'll have a giant party for all of us.
The girl
Smadialed.
dialed as she cuddled her purple and yellow toy. Victoria, sweetheart, started her mother.
Oh, sorry.
Oh wait, never mind. I thought that meant like Mama Tattletail for a second.
No, I think it's the actual one.
Okay. Victoria, sweetheart.
Started her mother.
Your aunt is here to see you.
Can I be the aunt?
Yeah. Victoria stood up and ran to the front door and hugged the young woman wearing the velvet coat.
Margaret.
Victoria giggled.
Nathan, it's
That's Nathan.
Nathan.
What does this mean? Sorry.
Hello, Vic. I heard you found the second ticket. I'm proud of you. You're the second child to have found
Wrong
the
York.
6 tickets.
What? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's the wrong
Have
door.
you decided who to take with you?
She asked as she picked Victoria up into her arms.
No, but I plan on taking the best friend. How about you come? My mom has no allergy to chocolate, and Dad can't take a lot of sugar except you and I.
What?
Victoria giggled.
Can't take a lot of sugar except. Oh God.
The family laughed.
Okay.
Victoria and Tattletail played while the grown-ups talked. As it became nighttime, the little girl and her baby talking Tattletails listened to Mama tell her full story rather than the ending of it like Victoria heard when she first met Mama. After the story ended, the little girl in the footed Tattletail egg pajamas
Oh, okay.
climbed into bed. Tattletail gave her a small kiss on the
Ew.
forehead before going into their box, and Mama
I'm not trusting that.
sat next it.
Next it.
Meeting the genius, and there's a picture of Johnny Depp, Willy Wonka
The
here.
giant Depp Willy.
Oh,
Nobody, and then a bunch of tildes. It was February
Onzer.
and the ticket winners stood in a line. The line contained the Salts, the Lancaster daughter, the Snicket aunt, Tail, toy best friend, TVs, Beauregards, Gloops, and the Buckets. Victoria looked around the line at the other ticket winners, and both Tattletail and Victoria cringed at them all except the Buckets, since the girl sensed some good in the boy.
Daddy, I want to get.
oh, wait, that's not me.
Whatever, you can take that one too. You can
Daddy,
take
I want to go in.
wine the spoiled brat known as Veruca. It's 9:59, sweetheart. Mr. Salt told his daughter, desperately trying to calm her down, but inflated her anger. Veruca snapped, stamping her foot on the snow-covered floor.
Do you think Mr. Wonka will recognize you?
Charlie asked his grandpa George. Hard to say.
Hey,
Sorry.
are you the grandpa or am I the grandpa?
You can be the grandpa, you're better at it.
All right, hard to say. It's been years.
Grandpa Joe
Like
told
Uncle
Charlie.
Ben.
I've
is-
never been so nervous ever since Mama was here.
Shut up about these tattletales!
Wait. So all these other people around her too will just hear that Mama was evil, and they're thinking like her
During
mom.
the ritual.
ADHD tail. I'm in the Willy Wonka factory talking.
I'd rather watch
Victoria
the Tom and
whispered
Jerry
to her
version.
aunts. Nathan.
Nathan, you're the
Well, once you get in, you get let.
What?
Oh my god.
fucking snicket of a stroke.
Well, once you get in, you get let your excitement out, but not too much.
These are like also.
Margaret
I-
Snicket smiled.
Sorry, Victoria, I had a stroke.
Don't worry, Y/N. Huh?
What?
Don't worry. Yes. No.
Me and the other Tattletails, even Mama, are counting on you. To do what?
Are they even there?
No, yeah, the tattle. She's holding like the blue Tattletail because she's autistic, but the other one's like, I don't know. We'll be fine. Maybe if you get the chance to come back afterwards, you should bring the others. Tattletail cheered.
Eyes on the prize, Violet. Eyes on the prize.
Miss Beauregard told her daughter Violet, who only nodded to her mother. Then as 09:59 changed to 10, the gates began opening. The squeaky noise it opened made Victoria jump and grab her aunt's hand, but soon relax. Everyone got excited. Beside the Bucket parents was the Lancaster parents, the Tattletails, and Mama. What?
Why'd you bring Mama?
Good luck, Victoria, they cried. Victoria waved to them before hearing a voice. Who wants to play Wonka?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Please enter.
Everyone ran in but Margaret, and Victoria walked as Tattletail hopped through the snow, making giant holes in the snow. As everyone was on the other side of the gates, the voice spoke up again.
Come forward.
The group began
No,
walking
silly.
forward towards the giant chocolate factory.
Close the gates.
Victoria looked
No,
back
in
as
the movie
gate
he goes,
shut.
Close the gates.
The gates.
Victoria looked back as the gate shut and the outside world was now blocked out from her sight. And
Block
this,
me!
this made the girl frightened.
Dear visitors, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to my humble factory. And who am I? Well,
The group stopped, and the doors were opened up to reveal a stage show of animatronics that reminded her of the Fred Bear and Friends show she loves to watch on TV.
great.
Only they were less creepy as the animatronics in front of her. Do you really have to
Good.
ruin Roald Dahl's
yeah,
book with
I
your
was-
shitty indie
I just
horror?
read that part. I was like, oh.
They began to sing in a very catchy tune, Willy Wonka, Willy Wonka.
Willy
great
Wonka,
blah, blah, blah.
Willy Wonka, the amazing chocolatier.
No,
not
Willy
singing the whole
Wonka, Willy Wonka.
no,
Everybody give a cheer.
Stop it.
no.
Shut up!
Okay.
A throne in the distance rose up. Victoria then learned this guy had a large ego, well large enough to have his own little puppet show sing about him to the group. As fireworks began, the stage and puppets set alight and began melting. Victoria hid behind her aunt as she swore she spotted the puppets looking at her with creepy, melted eyes. After the horror show, everyone began hearing a load of fast claps and looked down to see a man wearing a black coat, top hat, and large purple gloves. He had short brown hair and a bob cut, but Victoria called it the Dome for some reason.
The dome.
I mean, she would know. She's the narrator, isn't she? Whatever.
Wasn't that just magnificent? I was worried it was getting a little dodgy in the middle part, but then that finale. Wow.
This is legit just ripping, like,
This
from
is
the
literally
script.
just the movie.
The man then began walking up the stairs. Victoria slowly came out of hiding to see the man in front of them and stared with wonder. Who are you? Both Victoria and Violet asked, but one said it harshly and the other asked nervously.
He's Willy Wonka.
Answered Grandpa Joe for everyone else.
Really? I didn't know.
Charlie slightly gasped.
Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello.
Mr. Wonka
Good
called
morning,
out.
Starshine. The Earth says hello.
Mr. Wonka called out. Everyone was confused, but Victoria smiled. It seems like he was as nervous to meeting new people as she was to meeting him. What a coincidence.
Wow.
Mr. Wonka rummaged around before pulling a pack of flashcards with a red W on the back. Dear guests, greetings. Welcome to the... Oh. Shit. I just ran.
Are we ever going to find anything original tonight?
Mr.
No.
Wonka held out his hand, and Victoria was the only one to let go, and she shook his hand. His gloved hand felt like plastic and was warm. The girl smiled at the
Ew.
man before letting go and went back to Tattletail and her aunt. Mr. Wonka smiled widely at the girl before carried on reading his cards.
My name is Willy Wonka.
A laugh escaped his lips.
Haha.
Veruca asked. Then
Xander, it is you.
Shouldn't you say it?
asked Victoria before wondering where the sudden outburst of confidence came from. That's not confidence, you're just being a bitch. Veruca glared at her and Tattletail laughed. The man smiled slightly before carrying on with the girl's question.
Well, I couldn't very well catch the show from up there, now could I, little girl?
Oh my god.
God damn it.
Explain.
Mr. Wonker, I don't know if you remember me, but I used to work here in the factory.
Joe Bucket spoke to his old boss. Mr. Wonka stared at the elder before speaking in a question that made Victoria very confused.
Were you were you the one of those despicable spies who every day tried to steal my life's work and sell it to those parasitic copycat candy making cads?
It's exactly.
I'm just gonna
taken
start
from the movie.
skipping. I'm just gonna start
Yeah.
skipping shit that's like blocked from the movie. No sir, then wonderful. Da, 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 da. Okay, the others did so, and this is after they dropped the coats off and shit. The others did so. Victoria gave her Tattletail coat to her aunt and took of Tattletail's coat.
Her
I don't think
He has
this
a coat?
writer knows
Tattletail
the
coat?
difference because yeah, one Tattletail's coat question mark, but two earlier she was like she mistaked of for off and said like the night off the ritual, and now she's saying took of Tattletail's coat. But she kept the violent blag on her because it contained all of Tattletail's items, charging pad, brush, and since they were getting food anyway. But Victoria packed a large packed lunch for Tattletail. Brush me!
great.
Cried Tattletail. Victoria pulled out the brush and began to brush the small toy, and once done, the girl cuddled the egg-shaped toy. Mr. Wonka, it sure is toasty in here, Mr. TV pointed out. Indeed, it was warm as a small fire from a torch in the dungeons or caves from movies. Victoria was warm since it was like 6 degrees where she lived. Jeez! 6
Wow.
degrees! Holy shit.
actually is. I googled.
Where does she live?
What? Oh, yeah. Oh.
Wait a minute. Sunday 2017. She was talking about how she watched Freddy Fazbear on TV.
And she's also saying, is she meaning every Sunday in 2017?
Only on Sunday 2007. Yeah, which Sunday?
Just that one day. The one specific
every
day.
Sunday. Every Sunday. It's gonna be 6
For the
degrees.
workers. Okay, I'm gonna roll through this. This is all just from the movie.
Fuck this.
Like
Oh,
everything
wow.
here is just the movie, except for occasionally the girls just like randomly like, oh yeah, Tattletail's here too. They do a thing with Tattletail that no one else
Oh,
acknowledges.
it sounds like the Tom and Jerry and the Chocolate
exactly.
Factory thing that they're doing.
Yeah, this isn't even finished. Why are we reading this?
No, yeah, this is not even
It's
done.
not finished.
Wait, really?
Yeah, no.
No, there's a next page.
You
Yeah,
wanna
but
move-
it's not.
No, I know,
final.
but that doesn't. It only goes to Augustus.
Yeah, I'm control effing Tattletail, and literally the only time Tattletail is mentioned is like when they're saying what Victoria does. Tattletail will also look at. Hang on, let me go to the final page here and like let me just control F Tattletail. Victoria was sitting next to the chocolate river watching it flow. Tattletail next to her, the egg-shaped toy, seemed to be enchanted with the river and almost fell in if he didn't needed to be fed. Give me a treat, he cried, waking up from his daze staring towards the chocolate river. The girl giggled before pulling off a branch from the candy cane tree and fed it to her little friend. The two were unaware of Mr. Wonka watching them with interest in his purple eyes. Victoria looked behind her and see Mr. Wonka and she waved. Tattletail danced. More shit from the movie.
Pretty sure Naruto X Tattletail will be better.
Yeah, you guys want to move on past this? This is
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say moving
It's
on.
like
Speaking of which,
we might as well just call this episode like the Dissectors read the Willy Wonka script.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna get
featuring Tattletail.
sued.
Okay, this one's pretty short too. This
Naruto X Tattletail.
Rated
If that isn't the
PG.
weirdest
Oh.
shit you've ever heard in your life, I don't
Rated
know what
PG.
is. Okay.
It is, actually. It really is.
Title. Turn the final page. Rating PG-13. Warnings, tags, Mama Tattletail, supernatural elements, horror crossover, autism/Asperger's syndrome.
What?
Autism spectrum disorder, sensory issues, possessed toys, overprotective guardians, violence, bad language, paranoia.
This is just the tags for fucking fanfiction.net, no.
I don't understand. How is that middle part relevant? It's just like, you know, the
What?
beginning makes sense, the end makes sense, and then they're just randomly like, oh yeah, autism. What? Okay. Summary. Turn the page. There's no book, but the story plays anyway, and the game begins anew. Konoha has no idea what's coming until it's too late. It's already there. Mama hates you. Disclaimer. I don't own either property involved in this fic. I own only the idea, and we're very happy for you, Mr. Hybrid Trash 13.
I was gonna say, you know, I have no disbelief that this guy is the only one who owns this idea.
No, because I am weak, and this game ... it brought back all my Furby nightmares ... so I decided to write this logic.
I'm a weak son. I'm a weak bitch who doesn't own anything. But I mean,
Logic's a dope rapper.
It starts innocently enough with a box, an unopened present, and a child. It starts innocently enough with an idea, with a plan, with a well-intended creation. It starts innocently enough with a toy for children, only this toy quickly becomes a nightmare for all. It starts innocently enough. Unfortunately, nobody checks for demonic possession before sending them out into the world. Or for another yokai shirano. They're here for just... they're more than just toys. It starts innocently enough, but quickly turns to tears and fears. Mama's watching.
I'm getting flashbacks.
Mama hates you. It's a beautiful night, peaceful, calm. Everyone is tucked away in their beds, sleeping soundly. The breeze is lightly dancing in the leaves of trees, and the moon is waxing gibbous, hung in the sky like a spotlight. Everything is perfect. The temperature is not too warm and is not too cool, just perfect. And there's a visitor. At the gates of the village, a rather eccentric-looking character, a shock of red hair standing on end, wide amber eyes behind glasses, rip-torn and singed clothing. That wouldn't look out of place on a mad scientist character. The person stands there, an innocent-looking wrapped box in their arms. They tilt their head back and peer up at the arch over the gates, over the entrance to the village in front of them. And their already painful-looking grin stretches even wider, and they let out a small burst of almost manic laughter before falling silent. Shifting the box in their arms, they look up to the gates of Konoha once more, the grin remaining wide and fixed on their face. Who wants to play this person? Xander.
No!
I guess we lost. Okay, never mind.
Oh, no, she's...
Yes.
I guess I'll read them. Okay.
Okay, Bilu.
Yes!
They say, teeth flashing in the moonlight.
I think that this will be just perfect. Quite interesting, don't you?
They lower their head just enough, speaking to the box in a slightly more than crazed voice before straightening. Sanity returns to their eyes and they blink, straightening up, lowering the box, and looking much clearer in the moonlight. Yet there's still a twinkle of something as they walk into the village as if they belong there, as if nothing in the world is wrong with them being there at all. And just for a moment the wind falls silent. It all stills, soft, silent, frozen. Wrong. Yet the stranger doesn't miss a beat. They keep walking down the empty streets, some small form of sanity in their eyes, until they find what seems to be their target, an unassuming building, an empty home. Nothing is inside the building, aside dust, and some sheet-covered furniture forgotten by time. The wind whistles a mournful tune as they walk inside, looking one way, the other, sending furtive glances around before creeping through the house with silent footfalls. Nary a footprint follows them as they walk slowly. None of the dust decorating the floor even shifts as they walk slowly, surely heading towards their destination. A doorway, a stairway, leading down deeper into the house, and then under the house. Slowly they transverse the basement, amber eyes widening, and maniac grin returning. They let out a small laugh before falling silent, peering around support pillars and casting glances back in the direction they came, until finally they find a corner, a table, and a wall cutting it off from the rest of the room. Gently, so gently, they set the wrap box down on the table, carefully dusting the ribbon off the top.
Oh. Yes!
They grin, sharp and vicious.
This'll be just perfect!
They say, clasping their hands together before they cast one last furtive glance around and dart away, only stopping momentarily to roll a shake to charge flashlight onto one of the shelves left in the building. Where is the Naruto?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no like references to Naruto except for like Konoha, I think.
Konoha.
Leaving, they look up to the moon and raise one finger to their mouth, as though to let it know that it were to keep this a secret. Another glance around, a small flash in their eyes, and they leap up onto the roof and race away, disturbing none of those sleeping in the buildings, catching no attention from those on the night patrol until they reach the gate once more. They give both of the Chunin at the gate nods in greeting, raising their hands to fold them behind their head. They grin and casually stroll back out of the village, walking until they're out of view, and to the shinobi at the gate. It's not something memorable enough for them to really care. Strange characters come and go all the time.
Like this story.
Many of them loyal to the very village sleeping under their watch, and they think nothing of it. And in the abandoned house below the ground, a rat box shakes just enough the dust shift, just enough to make a small noise. Elsewhere, red eyes open and glow in the darkness, ominously lighting up the cellar. Yet there's no one there to see either event or hear the laughter that echoes throughout the house. The village sleeps on.
So
I
great,
should've-
how
10 out of 10.
I should have picked a better
Ooh.
story.
How's this?
Nothing happens in this.
Ew.
Yeah, this is just the beginning.
Every single one of those stories you read was so shitty. Why
It
did we
wasn't
even
funny.
do?
Like there's another one here with bones, but it's in a different language. It looks like so. Never
You
mind.
you should just cut all that out of the podcast. No,
No,
It was.
we
It
make
provided
this
some
for-
laughs, but it was just
it's
like,
quality.
what's going on? It's just. whatever.
Yeah, all
there's
these
nothing.
stories.
What was the
just
worst
left me
one?
Feeling
Oh
empty.
boy, I think the worst was probably that one just then. Or no, the worst was the story untold. It's like,
Oh yeah, 'cause it
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
the game.
yeah, it's just the game. Like
Pretty
nothing
much.
was changed. And then the chocolate factory was.
Pretty much what the
It's just
chocolate factory.
It's just the chocolate factory.
Yeah, with like
All
occasional
it
like the
is.
girls just randomly like, yeah, we brushed Tattletail's hair,
this-
and then like the rest of Roald Dahl's.
This is what it is. Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Oh, by the way, did you forget Tattletail was here?
Ugh. So with that out of the way, the last thing we have on the itinerary for tonight is, recently obviously Tattletail has the Kaleidoscope, a recent DLC that came out, which surprised me. I didn't really think Tattletail was gonna have DLC. I thought like if anything
No.
was gonna come out of the Tattletail producers, it was just gonna be a
Sequel.
full-on sequel. But apparently, yeah. So I don't know much on the Kaleidoscope. I heard like vague terms from Xander and Stove, but from what I understand, Bilo slightly understands it a little bit more, so I give the floor to you to kind of describe what Kaleidoscope was about.
Alright, so it's pretty confusing. I was watching I believe it was DA Games who was playing this DLC, and it's really confusing if you think about it. Like, so the story is pretty much it starts on Christmas Day, and at first I thought it was gonna be it's gonna show like what happened after the events of the main story, but then when you open the present, the Tattletail is there, and he starts like talking weirdly, like his emotion is like really down and all that. And then by the way, it's been a while since I saw this. It's so I might be a bit rusty on this, but you get a letter saying that all this isn't right, and then all of a sudden time goes backwards, like you're revisiting these events, but for some reason they're not all evil. It's just all like cutesy and all that.
Oh, my
And it's-
Tattletail time traveler theory was right.
And then as it rewinds, during like each day that rewinds, there's always a layer that's like, no, this isn't right. Everything's all cutesy and all this. It's supposed to be all different and all that. And it's really, you have to enter this place called the Kaleidoscope, which I think restores the actual events. I don't know. It's really confusing, but I don't know why he wants to like change this into like traumatizing events for. I'm pretty
worst
sure you're playing as
future,
a
yeah.
kid. And that's pretty much the whole present. You just go to this place, whatever the kaleidoscope is. I don't know how you enter it exactly. It's like some place in your house. I don't know. But
Sounds pretty fillery. Yeah,
this
'cause again, I
doesn't
didn't-
make any sense. Like, even like it doesn't even like from what I'm hearing, it doesn't even explain anything in the lore. It's just like this completely like just random thing. Like, hey, let's randomly bring time travel ? Into Tattletail, and it doesn't like I don't know. That's a really weird. Also, yeah, you made a good point. Like, if this is supposedly like a better future, why would the kid be like, this isn't right, and like want to change it for the worse?
And but the one whoever's writing these letters, he doesn't explain who he is. Like, I don't know. I think he's trying to like manipulate this kid's mind by doing something different. But I don't know. I couldn't like wrap my head around this. I did not think this DLC was necessary. But yeah, that's pretty much like the whole premise of it, from all I can remember. It's like really weird. But there is like a different animation for the mama Tattletail at one point where she like screams. She's like, what'd you say? I think she's like, you didn't think I'd forget, did you? But it's like, and it's like with a different animation, but it's pretty much like the same jump scare. She like jumps at you and she kills you.
And they had like a rainbow effect.
Was there a rainbow effect?
Yeah, they had like just flashing different rainbow colors. It was weird.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and there's also one thing, and it's the ending for this DLC. It's kind of
Is it just as shitty as the game?
I mean, but yeah. By the way, the ending it's almost the same, but with a comedic twist, I think. So, like in the original ending, you open the box and it's really slow, and it has that dramatic music build up, and when it opens, Tattletail pops out, and then it tells you to it wants to. Oh yeah, it tells during the whole game. Tattletail tells you like a joke. He's like knock knock, and you're like, who's there? Orange who? It's like, and then he just spits out some random fact like oranges are delicious or some shit like that.
What?
It's really weird. But then
Sounds like a fan fiction quote.
he does that same thing during the ending. When it tells you to talk to Tattletail, he's like knock knock, and you're like, who's there? He's like, me, and he's like, me. You're like, me who? And then it pauses for a bit, and it like gives you like a dramatic build up, like, but then it's like it does a Looney Tunes thing where it does like the circle and the rest is black thing. It's like me love you, and then it goes out, and that's just the end.
What?
I'm like, it's really.
Come on.
I'm like,
Honestly, no, the way you're describing it, I kind of want to go and watch it now. It sounds ridiculous.
I was like, oh, what's this joke leading up to? He's like, me love you. I'm like,
That's
I did not see the point of this DLC. I am for those people who might have a reasoning for it, you can try your best, but I just don't think this was necessary at all.
Like,
Doesn't
Xander,
sound
like
like it.
I know you kind of went over it a little bit. Is there anything you can kind of add to like explain it a little better? Because that doesn't sound like Tattletail. That's just so confusing and out there.
No, honestly, no. The way I best describe it's like game in a way, but it was made by the original person. It just feels like a really weird fake sequel that someone would make. It seems so rushed, and the visuals even hurt my eyes. Honestly, like they looked so weird.
Huh.
It was really gross.
Well,
I'll have to. I guess I'll definitely have to look into that more. And I don't know. I do. Oh yeah. And a little announcement as far as like, you know, we aren't done with Tattletail because I know whenever Stove, I guess, wants to come on again, we're actually going to do a gameplay segment where one of us will play the game actually, and we'll stream it, and the rest of us will be watching, you know, that person play the game, and we'll do commentary over that just while we're doing it. It'll be like sort of a more in-depth look at the game instead of us just talking about it. And yeah, I'm sure Stove had a lot to say about like what he wanted to say about it, so I'm sure we'll hear his thoughts when we do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, other than that, I guess that concludes our night of talking about the Talking Tattletail games. And yeah, I'm very interested in what the producers of this game have for the future. Actually, let me look it up. I probably should know who produced Tattletail.
Oh no!
It actually is Waygetter. Okay. Little Flag Software. Okay, whatever you guys have planned for the future, I'm interested, whether it be another type of game or a sequel that builds more on your plan. So yeah, I'll be watching that with interest.
Me too.
Yeah.
Does anything else have anything else to say about the game, or you know, the concept in general?
You know, I don't know. I think I've said pretty much all I could today.
It was a good podcast. I think we learned that you know, the game is kind of shitty. I said that at the beginning, so you know, it's kind of
the fan base.
and the fan content is even shittier.
It's just like the fan content was just like you have no idea how long I looked through Wattpad looking for like any sort of original story, and I thought I kind of found it with that one because I thought like, oh, okay, at first I guess this seems very different, and then yeah, it was just turned out to be yet again there was like hundreds and hundreds of just these retellings of what happens in the game. It's like I didn't come to Wattpad for this. I wanted to see a fanfic. And then if it wasn't just a retelling of the game, it was just putting Tattletail with shit that like didn't make any sense and didn't actually have an impact. It was just the original story of whatever they stole, plus like fucking Tattletail occasionally popping up like, hey, remember Tattletail's here. So Jesus Christ.
Those stories gave me a headache.
Yeah, like that's pretty bad. Like at least we could finish the origin of Eyeless Jack. Like it was bad, but holy shit! Like I said earlier, that was like Stephen King next to this shit. Like,
at least those were like original stories.
Yeah.
Don't hate on it so much, man. I bet a lot of Tattletail fans are gonna find this podcast. And we're just gonna be talking
my
shit.
mind. I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, no, you came out and straight up said it was shit. I was just kind of like, it's okay. So they'll be after you, Nathan Provost music. But
you're trying to attack my Provost music channel, huh?
no, I'm just plugging you, man. Innocent plug for your support.
Thank you.
Like that one
I don't know
plug
if
for
that was a way to
like
plug,
DC
but alright.
book.
What, Bilo?
Hey guys, check out my book.
Yeah, like that one plug for like your DC book or whatever.
Yeah,
I think the
Tattletail Fanart.
I don't think the Tattletail fans are gonna sit through this.
Oh yeah, short attention span.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Autism spectrum Asperger's.
All right. Anyway,
Why would you include? Yeah, no. Now that we've read the Naruto story, what did that have to do with autism spectrum?
yeah, I was thinking.
No. It's most of the tags included there weren't even in it. Like most of the warnings or trigger warnings, whatever, included in the story.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Want Tattletail X Caillou?
Yeah, like at
That'd
least put Tattletail with something that makes sense. Like I guess Caillou or like other kid-centered things. What did Naruto have to offer to Tattletail at all?
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope we entertain you tonight, and stay tuned sometime this week for the gameplay section where we'll hopefully have Stove, and yeah, Xander will probably be playing the game as we provide commentary to that live, and should be a fun night. And the next episode where we'll be covering a certain childhood book series, will come.
Ooh.
Ooh, I don't really know when it'll come out. I'm not really sure when next weekend I'll be free, but it'll come out relatively soon. And yeah, I wanted to get this one out this weekend because it'll be probably the last time I'll be able to for a while. So I hope we entertained you tonight. I hope, and go check out Tattletail for yourself, formulate your own opinion on it. And yeah, thanks for listening, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.